The purpose of this video is to show you how to manage users in an OSBLE course. The video assumes that you have an OSBLE account with instructor privileges and that you have created a course. If this is not the case, please see the video in this series entitled How to Create Courses. Before I talk about adding users to your course, I want to take a minute to talk about the different types of users in OSBLE. OSBLE defines 4 different user types: instructors, students, moderators, and observers. There's also a user type called TA, but we recommend that you not use it. These types of users differ in the ways in which they can participate in the course. Instructors can add users, edit course settings, create and edit assignments, and grade assignments. Students can participate in assignments. Moderators can only participate in certain types of discussion assignments. Moderators are usually peer mentors or industry professionals. Observers can observe but not participate in a course. To add users to a course, first click on the Users tab. This takes you to a page where you can view and manage course users. Next, click on the Add Update Users link at the top of the page. The page expands, giving you 3 different options for adding users. The first way to add users is by school ID. Use this option if you know the school ID number of the person you want to add. After adding the ID number, select the school, course role, and section of the person you are adding. For section, if your course has only one section, be sure to enter 0. Click on Add User to add the user whose details you just specified. The second way to add users is by email address, that is, by OSBLE user ID. This option allows you to add 1 or more users by entering a list of comma-separated email addresses. Again, if your course has only one section, be sure to enter 0 for the section. Click on Add User to add the user or users whose details you just specified. The third way to add users is by uploading a roster file. Use this option if you want to quickly add multiple students using a comma-separated values or .csv file. Usually, you will use the official course roster accessible from your registrar's website. Often, the roster can be downloaded as a .csv file, or you can easily convert the roster into a .csv file using a program like Microsoft Excel. OSBLE makes a few assumptions about the contents of a roster file. The first row of a roster file is assumed to contain header labels. Each additional row is assumed to contain the data of a student. The only student data your file must contain are students' school ID numbers. 3 additional pieces of data can be optionally processed by OSBLE: students' names, students' email addresses, and the course sections to which students belong. Now let's walk through the process of importing a roster file. We'll import this roster file, which contains 4 columns and 20 student rows. First, from the Users tab, click on Add Update Users. Next, locate the roster file to be uploaded. Once you have selected the file, click on Upload Roster. You'll be taken to this screen, which asks you to help OSBLE interpret the columns of the file. OSBLE uses its best guess to determine which columns contain the student information OSBLE is interested in. If it guesses wrong, you can always select a different column, or simply choose none if you do not want to import that item. Now click on the Import Roster button to complete the import. OSBLE adds the students to the course. It is important to note that when a roster is imported, any previously enrolled students who do not appear on the roster are automatically withdrawn from the course. This was the case here, where the 3 students we manually added earlier in this video were withdrawn. As can be seen, OSBLE distinguishes 3 types of students: those who are enrolled, those who are whitelisted, and those who are withdrawn. Let me explain these categories a bit further. Students on the student list are enrolled in the course. They have OSBLE accounts and have been added to the course by the instructor using one of the 3 methods illustrated previously in this video. Students on the withdrawn list were once enrolled in the course, but have since been removed. This could have happened if they were not in an imported roster, or if the instructor manually withdrew them from the course. Finally, students on the whitelisted list appeared on a roster previously imported by the instructor. Hence, they are authorized to be in the course. However, there's one little problem. They do not yet have an OSBLE account, so they do not yet exist in OSBLE's user database. Once whitelisted students sign up for an OSBLE account, they will be moved from the whitelisted list to the student list and will be officially in the OSBLE course. How can you get whitelisted students to sign up for an OSBLE account? Well, if you imported your students' email addresses through a roster file, then OSBLE automatically emailed students an invitation to sign up for OSBLE. You may need to ask them to check their spam or junk folders for the invitation. Alternatively, simply make an announcement in class that students should visit osble.org and click on the sign up link to create an account. Once they do so, they will be automatically added to your course. Often, at the beginning of a course, students frequently add and drop. During this turbulent time, you may find yourself frequently importing the latest roster and continually responding to students' questions about why they can't get into your OSBLE course. Rather than having to continually re-import the latest roster, you can simply instruct students to request to join your course in OSBLE. Here's how it works. Instruct students who have recently enrolled in your course to create an OSBLE account. In OSBLE, have them search for your course by clicking on the magnifying glass icon to the right of the course community menu. When they have located your course, they simply click on the Join button to request to join the course. You, as the instructor, will then receive a notification that the student has requested to join the course. You can then go to the Users tab of your course. On the right-hand side, you'll see a list of pending students who have requested to join your course. Simply click the Thumbs Up button to approve the students. I'll conclude this video by showing you some ways you can edit and manage users from the Users tab. To edit a user, position the mouse over the user and then choose the Edit icon. From the Edit screen, you can change the user's course role and section. Click on Save User to save any changes you make. If you would like to manually withdraw a student, simply position the mouse over the student and choose the W icon. You can withdraw all students in the course by clicking on the W icon at the top of the student column. You can remove a whitelisted student by positioning the mouse over the student and clicking on the X icon. You can clear the entire whitelist by clicking on the X at the top of the whitelist column. Finally, you can re-enroll a student on the withdrawn list by positioning the mouse over the student and clicking on the E icon. You can clear the entire withdrawn list by clicking on the X icon at the top of the withdrawn column. All OSBLE training videos are hosted on YouTube and are also accessible at osble.org.